life before recovery was kind of like Groundhog Day. The last several years, I lost my spark.
I lacked a lot of self-awareness. I'd always convinced myself I was the victim of circumstances. And the reality is I made my own circumstances, and I wasn't a victim, I created victims.
It was just a really dark place to be. I had basically gotten so far into my addiction that I had lost everything that I ever cared about and loved, including myself.
Well, I grew up in a foster system, in and out a couple times. Started substances at a young age, taking pills and stuff in middle school. Always getting picked on, feeling like a black sheep. So I coped with substances.
I was clearly hopeless and despondent, and really thinking that I had gone too far and there was no coming back.
Life for me before I found recovery was pretty difficult. There was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of chaos, a lot of poor decisions.
A lot of sporadic, irrational thinking, never playing the tape through, legal troubles on and off throughout my whole adult life, not being able to sustain a job for long.
Oh, my life before recovery, when I was active, it was a nightmare. You know, it was every day, it seemed like I was waking up and just fighting for survival just to get through the day.
I was angry and I was ashamed. I was really ashamed because I had gone to a place where people had warned me about, and I thought I would be fine.
Not good. I didn't have any self-confidence. I didn't think I had any worth. So it just was really a dark place.
Loneliness, not fitting in, trying to figure out my place, different than everybody else. Not a place of belonging.
My view of myself was not good. My self-esteem was low. You know, I didn't really want to ever be around anybody, whether that was family or friends, just because I was embarrassed of who I was and what I was doing.
They say Einstein said the definition of insanity is do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. But I knew the end result, and I just couldn't get out of that cycle. I just kept doing it. And I didn't know how to break it. I was just so tired of being homeless. A suicide attempt was my exit multiple times, and then I would fail it. And just that hopelessness of like, I can't even kill myself, right?
What happened was I was suicidal and I had a plan. I just couldn't fully execute it. I didn't want to leave my daughter fatherless, and but there was a car ride where she was in the back seat in a car seat, and I was using while I was driving, and I remember hearing "Dad," and the way she said it made me look up in the rearview mirror, and I looked at her, and there was something, although she was too young to really express her feelings in words, there was something in her face that said something ain't right.
My turning point would have been, I knew if I didn't change the way I was living, I was gonna die, and it was gonna be sooner than later. And so I just had to find a way out, and I brought myself to recovery.
So there's this teaching in the Bible that God will release you to your sin if you feel that you know a better way and you decide that you're not going to follow his way. And so that's kind of what I did. I decided that I knew better, and God released me to my sin, and it ended up in a lot of pain. And I ended up in a point where I was like, you know, I got to do something different. Like what I'm doing right now in my life isn't working. And so I have to make a decision to change.
My turning point in all of this, I went to work one day. I was working on CNC machines, and I'll never forget this. It was a Friday. I went to work and I left to go buy drugs, and I went back to work so high that I couldn't stay there. I immediately left, and I broke down, got on my knees for the first time in I don't know how long, and prayed, and that was really when things turned for me.
I've got a pretty good life. I think about it sometimes, and I think about how blessed I am. I have a wife of 6 years, a daughter that's 3 years old, and she's the best gift that anyone could have given us.
I think I've become more me than I've ever been. And I think I'm more my authentic self than I've ever been. And I don't know that I always had this phony image of who I thought I should be or who you needed me to be. And I think what recovery's given me is the ability to be myself and accept that.
I've been able to have some normalcy in my life. I've been able to accomplish some things. I have a good job, I have a home, I have a car, and I have all of these wonderful things, and my life's pretty good now.
I'm there for people in the moment. I'm there for my children in the moment. I don't rush things because I got to go get my next one. I'm thoughtful about my actions and who it affects. And I can see a lot further ahead down the road from where my actions and behaviors will lead.
My life is beautiful now. I've gained everything plus I'm back, and I'm doing what I love, and that is helping others also get out of their own addictions and breaking them chains.
Oh, it's wonderful. I'm not homeless anymore. I'm not living on the streets. I have a stable job, a stable house. I get to give back to my community by working for Hopetown.
I feel confident in who I am. I have the ability now to manage difficult situations without collapsing, without going under. I can navigate through some really difficult things, and I was never able to handle that level of stress before. I was never able to do that, and so to be able to live a life with meaning and purpose is better than I could ask for.
When people ask me, how have you stayed in recovery so long? I think the thing that pops in my head first is I pray every day, every single day. I've not done this recovery right 100% of the time for sure. And I've let myself and others down around me. It's just daily. But what I have done daily that made all the difference for me was I started praying and asking for help to God 16 and a half years ago, almost to the day. For the first time in years, I prayed. And every day since then, I've prayed for strength, courage, and the power to carry out God's plan, not mine.
The only way that I have stayed in a lifestyle of recovery is to maintain my relationship with God. Every single day, I pray that He would sustain me, that He would give me the things that I need to get through the day, and I take it moment by moment. Some moments are more difficult than others. Some moments I feel like giving up. Some moments I feel like giving in. But in that moment, I decide, you know what? For right now, I'm gonna stay on the path that I'm on. I don't know what I'm gonna do in 2 hours. I don't know what I'm gonna do tonight or tomorrow. But for right now, I'm gonna honor the Lord, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get through this moment. And that's how I've sustained my recovery, is moment by moment.
I definitely dig into my 12-step meetings, depending on what's it about. If it's about home life, I really dig into my 12-step meetings. But if it's something that's just going on regularly, I dig into my sober support, which my foster mom is one of my biggest sober supports.
Staying connected, my spiritual cup. That's one thing I learned in recovery is they use the phrase, you got to give it away to keep it. And it's not just in recovery, it's in anything. It can be as much as, I see an opportunity to hold a door open for someone. Or to say, hey, I really like your shoes. Might not even like their shoes, but I just see that somebody looks down on their day and they just need a compliment or something to make them feel propped up a little bit. It can be a lot of different things.
My biggest thing is the fellowship. I did my step work. I do stay active within my home groups, whether that's setting up the meeting or helping close when it's at the end, sharing a meeting or whatnot. My biggest my biggest maintenance in my recovery is my meetings, fellowship, and then service work.